So this is a lesson on the Industrial Revolution. I'm looking at the connections between Industrial Revolution and crime, which is really the first part of our big Jack the Ripper topic. So we'll learn about the connection between these two things, the Industrial Revolution, people moving to cities to work in factories, and crime. We'll understand these connections and develop our thinking skills. Keywords: village, small, population, everyone who lives in a place is the population. Known, seen, caught, city, big, millions, stranger. And unintended and unforeseen. Things that happen that you didn't mean them to happen is unintended. Unforeseen, things happen you didn't think were going to happen, you didn't foresee it. So let's get cracking, shall we? So, question: how did the Industrial Revolution lead to an unforeseen increase in crime? Crime went up, nobody expected it. It works like this. Before we industrialised, most people lived in small villages, maybe a maximum 150 people. And then, when we industrialised, people started to move to the big cities like London to find work. So the Industrial Revolution had a big effect on crime. This is because people had to move to the cities, like London, to find work. So in the year 1900, London had a population of about 3 million people. And the cities were very different to the villages they had come from. The villages are very small, only maybe 100, 150 people. Cities were huge, they had several million people in them. In a village, if you lived here, it was almost impossible to get away with a crime because everybody knows everybody else. If anyone sees you do something, they know your name, they know your family, they know where you live, you're caught. Plus you know most people, so you're not going to steal from them because they're your friends and neighbours, possibly even family. In a city, it's much easier because it's overcrowded, it's full of strangers, no one knows you. Imagine moving to a place like this. One family per room. Tiny, overcrowded, dirty, disgusting. But importantly, easy to get away. Easy to rob somebody and escape, and no one knows. Even if anyone sees you, they don't know your name or your family, you get away with it. So crime got worse. All sorts of crime. We had a huge development in boxing. This is illegal at the time, but hundreds of thousands of people would gather for early boxing matches. This is the first boxing match in England ever have a black guy called Tom Molyneux from America. Crimes like betting on rat killing. So along with all this, you can imagine this horrible dirty place like this, they have a lot of rats. They catch the rats, put them in this wooden box, put one dog in there, and these guys are gambling on how many rats the dog can kill in a certain amount of time. So the rat's trying to get away, and the dog is slaughtering them. It was illegal, but it went on. So crime got worse. And as crime got worse, for example, garrotting. Yeah? This is a joke cartoon about it. Here's a gentleman. He's wearing this big surround here to stop this guy trying to strangle him. Garrotting is another word for strangling. You can see it here in this sketch. Garrotting, so you'd strangle someone till they're unconscious and then you'd rob them. It's a bit like mugging today. So that's one of the crimes that got worse. And the government decided in 1829 to start a police force, the first one ever. Until this year, there were no police. And London had the first police force. They called it the Metropolitan Police, just like today, and they hired their very first policeman for London. Here they are, very first bunch of coppers, given these truncheons. They didn't want to give them guns because they're not the army. Yeah. So that's how this revolution made crime get much worse. If you want to do any more research, go to casebook.org.